Okay, let's party. Okay, hello, Graham Skipper. Before we talk about your book, Godzilla, the Ultimate Illustrated Guide, tell people a little bit about yourself.
I'm an actor, writer, producer, director. I kind of do a little bit of everything. I have been particularly lucky to get to have a lot of fun in the horror world.
Mhm.
So you might know me from movies like Almost Human, The Mind's Eye, Beyond the Gates. Most recently this month, I'm in a film called The Leech, as well as Christmas Bloody Christmas, and then the soon to come out on December 22nd, Scare Package 2. And I wrote and directed a film called Sequence Break, which you can find on Shudder. Um, and yeah, I was just very, very lucky to get involved with the fine folks over at the legendary Toho Studios
Mhm.
to get to work on this book.
Very cool. And also, were you in that Reanimator play?
I was in Reanimator the musical. Yep, I was in that for the entire run. We did it for the better part of about 4 years in L.A., New York, the UK, and Las Vegas.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Who did you play in that?
I was Herbert West.
Ah,
Yep. Yeah, I got to play
amazing.
Herbert West. Yeah, it was an amazing experience, the best job I'll probably ever have. And just getting to work under and be mentored by the great Stuart Gordon uh, was a gift that I continue to be very thankful for.
May he rest in peace.
Yes.
And so, and did you get to talk to Jeffrey Combs about his role?
I I
Yeah.
did briefly. Yeah, I mean he came to opening night,
Mhm.
and I didn't get to talk to him before the show,
Ah,
began, but yeah, I mean he came to opening night. He had a lot of really nice things to say, and then sort of throughout the years we've kind of run in the same circles, so I've gotten to talk to him a number of times.
very cool. All right. Well, okay. Now we got that out of the way. Tell people what they can get out of your Godzilla book. What can they expect?
Yeah, so Godzilla, the official guide to the King of the Monsters. It's a really beautiful book. Welbeck Publishing did a tremendous job of putting it all together. And I'll say that my main inspiration for this was when I was a kid, my dad had bought me a picture book of all the movie monsters, and I was
Mhm.
way too scared to watch any of the movies, but I was
Yeah.
obsessed with this book, and I would comb through it and I would look at all the pictures of like Dracula, Frankenstein, Jason and Freddy and all those,
Mhm.
and just be really obsessed. And that began my love of horror, which is a thing that has truly followed through to this day. Um, and so yeah, I when Toho reached out to me about doing this, my first thought was I want to make that book, but for Godzilla. I want to make a book that a 10-year-old kid is going to pick up and just be obsessed with, and
Mhm.
be totally excited about reading about these movies and about reading about these monsters and get excited about the franchise. I also wanted it to be, a book for people that maybe are intimidated by the franchise. I mean, it's a franchise with 34 films, a bunch of
Mhm.
TV shows, video games, comic books, the whole thing. And I know people that are intimidated by jumping into that. Where do I
Mhm.
start? Do I start at the beginning? Gosh, that's scary. And so this is, a way to try to help people kind of look through what the films are, read about them, get excited about them, and go, I'm going to watch this one, and this one. And then hopefully that spurs on their love of the franchise, which is obviously what I have. And then beyond that, too, for super fans of the franchise, it has a lot of, I mean, I did a deep dive into the history. It's a really unique look at a lot of photographs and pictures that have never before been seen. Toho gave us unprecedented access to their full photo archive,
Mm.
and they just said, "Here, take whatever you want." So I mean, I poured through thousands of photos
Mhm.
to find some really cool ones that would look beautiful in this really big, gorgeous book. So I think it's for anybody with any sort of level of interest in Godzilla. The intent was for this to be the absolute uh, most the most official and complete guide that you could get.
Cool. Okay, so this is like a great gateway drug into Godzilla,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
also the Godzilla books.
right, yeah.
What are some other Godzilla books you like?
Some other Godzilla books I like. Well, I actually sort of flipped out. I was at a comic store not long ago, and they had a copy of the one-shot comic Godzilla versus Charles Barkley,
Oh my God.
and I was very excited to find that. Um, so I'm excited about that one. There's a lot of great Godzilla books out there. This isn't a book. I really love on the Criterion Collection
Mhm.
uh, version of the original Gojira. I really love the commentary that's on that disc. So I think if you're a new fan sort of looking to get some good insight, that's definitely a place to start is with that commentary. It's really, really great.
And who did it?
I can't remember his name
Was
off
it
the top of
Steve
my head.
Rifle?
I don't know that it
I
was
don't
him.
want to. We don't know. So okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, I'm not sure off the
Yeah.
top of my head. I can't remember right now, but yeah, it's great. It's really, really
Someone
good.
can fact check us later. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I really enjoy Steve Rifle stuff. I think he's really cool,
yeah,
and there's been some other interesting things as well, for sure. So tell me about when you first got into Godzilla, or how you first got into Godzilla. Uh,
yeah.
how long have you been a fan of the franchise?
For a very long time. So when I was a kid, my grandparents were they lived out in the country, but they had one of those gigantic satellite dishes in their backyard. So they picked up a lot of channels that we didn't have at home. So when we'd go out to stay with our grandparents, I would just hole up in their room and I'd turn on HBO because we didn't have HBO. I just watch movies. I've always been a movie kid, always been an indoor kid. And I remember this day specifically. It was a big day for me. I was watching HBO, and then they announced the upcoming next movie, which was King Kong versus Godzilla. And I had never seen a Godzilla movie. I had never seen a King Kong movie. I certainly knew about both of them. I knew that I liked monsters, and I was interested in that. And so I thought, well, I'll probably like this. So I watched King Kong versus Godzilla, and I was hooked. I loved it. I was probably 8 years old, something like that. Um, but the thing was, back then HBO would show Godzilla movies all the time. So what became, a tradition was whenever I go out to grandma and grandpa's house, I'd just turn on HBO. I'd watch Godzilla movies all day. And it was great. And then of course, as I got older, I started to dive into all the Heisei era stuff and the Millennium era stuff and all that. And just, I've been a lifelong fan. How could you not be really?
What do you think the appeal is?
Um, Godzilla, hmm, what's the appeal? One, monsters are cool.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
just about to say that. Yeah.
they're cool, they're fun.
Mhm.
And Godzilla is cool and fun. I think that, the thing about Godzilla is that it rides this line of being both a scary, legitimate, monster horror franchise,
Mm,
but also has that Sunday afternoon,
mm,
Saturday morning cartoon, fun, family friendly vibe, depending on, what you're looking for at the time. So it's kind of like having a big, one of those big display cases full of ice cream, and you
mm.
got a million flavors, and you can kind of pick and choose what you want at any given time. Godzilla as a character, I think, is so enduring and interesting because uh he began as a symbol of nuclear power and of the bomb and of destruction and of this horrible period in Japan's history, but then evolved into a kind of like protector and savior of mankind.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
both a good guy and a bad guy. Um and and I think there's something really enigmatic about that, and something really interesting, and something really really unique about having this character that's so recognizable, that is both approachable in terms of, if you're a kid and you watch, Godzilla versus Megalon, you're like, I want to be that guy's friend, versus if you're a film scholar and you watch the original Gojira, like there's so much to mine from the many, many layers of cinema that's going on in that movie. So I just think it's got something for everybody. It's a franchise that I hope, knock on wood, will never go away. and it doesn't seem like it's going to. That is sort of a constant and something that's always there. So in that way, it's a bit of cinematic comfort, I think, for the world.
Mm. He is like the James Bond of Japan.
Yeah, totally.
Good stuff. So, as an actor, if you got the chance to hop in the rubber suit, what are you saying?
Oh, I mean, yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm going to be nervous because as is illustrated in the book, and as as many interviews by the various monster suit actors, particularly Haruo Nakajima, have given, it's
Hmm.
a nightmare inside the suit.
Yeah.
It's very challenging, but I mean, yeah, are you kidding me? I would kill to be inside of one of those suits.
I basically, I think, if memory serves me right, like it's just very difficult to see in that thing, and it smells
Well,
terrible.
oh yeah. I mean, they said it was horrible to see in. They said it was, it weighs a ton when you have to walk through water, which is often when you're one of those monsters. It just soaks up all the water.
Oh,
That it's yeah, it smells horrible. It fills up with your sweat. It just they're not comfortable. Now, over the years, they managed to be able to uh build them in better ways, to make it a little bit easier on the actors. But
hmm.
I mean, hearing Nakajima talk about that original suit is like, it's like this huge hulking thing.
Yeah,
He's like, I had no idea it was going to be so challenging, and good thing that he was a stuntman, because you needed to have strength and the capability to actually wield that no pun intended monstrous suit.
yeah. I so like it's horrible to do, and also no one would really know that it was you unless you told them. But you
Uh-huh.
would know,
Right.
and every time you saw it, you would know that was you.
Well, you're a part of history.
You're immortalized.
Yeah.
It would be legendary.
Yeah.
So, which Godzilla era is your favorite and why?
Um, I mean, I love all of them. I think if I had to choose one, I'd say the Heisei era.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And I guess the reason why might be I love the continuity of that era. I love
Mm,
that, we have, a real through line of characters and stuff in that era. Um, I just love the effects of that era a lot. I
mhm.
think that they really kind of, it was before, like in the Millennium era, we started getting a little bit into, some CGI stuff.
Yeah,
Um, and but I think the Heisei era, I mean, they really nailed the kind of fusion of the old techniques with the new,
yeah.
to make stuff look really special. So I don't know. I think the Heisei is probably my favorite personally.
I'm really hoping that gets the Criterion treatment. The
I
whole era.
know, I do too. I do too. I know that the rights issues are always a bit of a nightmare with these movies. Um, so the Criterion set that we got, which is gorgeous, is
Mhm.
something of a miracle. But I'm also hoping, I would love to see all the eras get their own special treatment like that. That would be really great.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And is there a favorite movie? All time favorite Godzilla movie?
So my personal favorite is Godzilla versus Destroya. Um,
Okay.
that's I don't know, that's the one that I think emotionally, I mean, aside from the original kind of stands
Yeah.
on its own. It's a masterpiece of cinema.
Mhm.
And so it feels a little bit disingenuous to be saying, well, that's my favorite. I mean, yeah, obviously it's everybody's favorite. For me, I love Godzilla versus Destroya. It's a very emotionally affecting film. I think it shows what Godzilla films can really do as far as connecting with you on an emotional level. I love the story. I love the monster. I love the huge total ripoff of Aliens that happens in the middle of it. It's shot really well. The monsters are scary. I It's one of the more horror centric ones.
Mhm.
So I love that one.
My favorite is Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Fantastic film. It's a great
Yeah.
film. One of my favorites too.
Yeah. I just think that that the idea of humanity has turned its back on you, and so would you betray humanity if
Right.
someone was going to acknowledge you that wasn't from this planet?
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
that's
very
that's a
much
real question. That is a dilemma.
sure.
There's so much dramatic tension there.
Well, yeah, and it's also, that idea of like somebody just wanting to watch the world burn,
Yeah.
and kind of the chaos energy of that. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah. and it's great because you got Akira Ifukube back, you got a Shiro Honda back,
Yeah,
the last of the Showa era.
yeah,
It's solid.
yeah, yeah. It's a great film.
I'm a Showa shill.
I mean, yeah, I love the show era too. There's something so special about it, that
The-
feels again so like welcoming and comforting. The
hmm,
minute you turn on any show era film, um, and it also kind of stands in such stark contrast to the original Gojira, because when you watch that
hmm,
with the rest of and Godzilla raids again to a degree, but when you watch the original uh alongside the other Showa era films,
hmm.
it also makes that original stand out as even more horrifying and
True.
dramatic and intense. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why that's the most iconic era for sure.
Yeah, some of them get too silly for sure, but when it's good,
Well,
it's still
I don't
good.
even know. I don't even know if there is a too silly. Like they're fun.
That's just my
They're
opinion. I'm not speaking objectively.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I think that the I don't know. I don't
to
have
me,
to
when
have
it
my
really works, you can't beat it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great
Um,
films.
Pardon me.
Said yeah, great films. Just great
Okay, yeah,
films.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. So take Godzilla out of the mix. Let's say there's no Godzilla in Godzilla movies. I know it's crazy, but who would be your favorite kaiju after him?
Like of all the monsters.
Yeah, like King Ghidorah, Rodan, all those guys.
Yeah, I think good question. I love Hedora. Hedora is very special and really wacky. Um, I love King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Hard to beat that. I think probably my favorite though, it's got to be Mothra. I mean,
Mhm.
Mothra is, she's the Earth Mother. She's she's the ultimate protector of the planet. Um, I love Mothra, and in fact, I think today when we're recording this, or yesterday, was the 30th anniversary of
Right,
Godzilla versus Mothra, the Battle for Earth,
right.
um, which is my personal favorite Mothra film. So yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna say Mothra.
You're making me really want to revisit these high sea movies. I
Yeah,
went to them once and it was incredible, and then because I don't have access to them, like I don't have the Blu-rays. So
yeah,
yeah, I
they're
really should.
great. You should.
Yeah, I should. And I've only seen one Millennium movie,
Okay.
so I gotta go through all that too.
Which one have you seen?
It was the one that was Mothra and King Ghidorah.
Okay, awesome. Also, really good movie. Yeah,
Excellent film.
yeah,
I don't have bad memories watching it. And then like Godzilla 2000,
yeah. Nice.
it was okay,
Yeah,
not bad. But I saw it
yeah.
in theaters, so that's special.
That's cool. Yeah.
Sentimental memory. So what do you think of Mecha Streisand and what the South Park guys did with
Oh, I mean,
Godzilla?
I think it's all great. Like
Yeah,
I'm just glad that kaiju are such a part of kind of the cultural lexicon
uh,
that everybody kind of recognizes what they're riffing on.
yeah.
People know a lot more about Godzilla and about this type of film than they think they do. As evidenced by something like Mecha Streisand, which everybody immediately kind of gets that reference, even if they've never seen a Godzilla movie. So I love it. I think it's great.
And what's your favorite Hollywood Godzilla movie?
I Mike Doherty's Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay,
Um, that's my personal favorite. I don't understand the hate that movie gets. I think that movie is sort of unfairly maligned, and I've never really understood it. I think that it's
that
got a
was the
lot
one.
of
It wasn't King Kong. It was the one before, right?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, I did not like that movie simply because I just thought it was boring. I don't know. It didn't land with me. I
yeah.
got
I
just
mean, all right,
a personal opinion. Yeah.
yeah, sure. I mean, for me, I feel it like that movie has a lot of really epic scope to it. I think that he does a really beautiful job of presenting the monsters. I think that the story of two different parents' reactions to this horrible trauma that they've gone to. One wants to befriend the kaiju to save humanity, and the other one wants to use them to destroy it. I just
Mhm.
find it that really interesting. But yeah, I think that the grand scale that Doherty used, excuse me, in terms of um depicting these monsters in this modern era, I just think he did a really great job. So I like that movie a lot.
I know someone who almost scored that movie,
Oh, cool.
but not no cigar.
So close.
So
So close.
close.
Yeah.
They were being cheap with them.
Yeah. Well, all right.
He stood
So
his
it goes.
ground,
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? We hear
Yeah.
things, can't verify them again.
Yeah.
So just anecdotal stories. This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And do you like Gamera?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love especially the Arrow video put out a really fantastic
yeah, I have it. Yeah,
Gamera sets.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I'm excited about the new Gamera film. I'm excited about the new Godzilla film that they just announced.
I
I'm
didn't know there
excited.
was a new Gamera movie coming.
Yeah, I believe that they announced
It's been a while for that one.
it's been a while. I mean, I look, I might be totally losing my mind here, but I seem to remember that I saw an announcement for that relatively recently. I think that the main thing is that I think all these monsters and all these
Hmm.
film franchises are coming back into the fore, and that they're really getting more attention, and people are getting excited about them again, which makes me excited about them. So I'm glad that new generations are going to continue to learn about these films and love them the way that I do.
Absolutely, a Pacific Rim or Pacific Rim job, as I like to call it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff. All right, well, Graham, thank you very much for your time. What do you have planned for the year 2023?
Oh gosh, lots of stuff, none of which I can really talk about yet. But yeah, just trying to get a lot of new projects off the ground, and just looking forward to a new year, and hoping for monster mayhem wherever it might show up.
Okay, cool, man. Well, have a great night, and thank you very much for your time.
Thanks. Yeah, you too.